Hi there, and welcome to our next session of the QGIS Plugged In Open Day. We're going to be talking about going from a hackathon to a QGIS plugin. And we have some amazing speakers, and we'll end off with a panel discussion. So I'd like to welcome Hans back, and he will be taking us through an introduction to how this all came about. Over to you, Hans.
Thanks, Amy, and hi there again in this great QGIS Open Day. And in this session, we will have a short introduction about the WaPOR database where the hackathon was about. And after that, we will have a presentation from Natalia on her journey from the hackathon to, with her team, developing a QGIS plugin. And I'm happy to also see her team members here, some of them. And we will also then have a panel discussion where you can also contribute by putting your questions in the chat. And for the panel discussion, we have Lauren Zielinski from IHE Delft, who was also one of the organizers of the hackathon. And we have Saber Rasmudjoui from Lutra Consulting, who was one of the experts involved in the hackathon. So I'm going to share my screen. And you should be able to see the screen now. Here, this was the website for the hackathon. And originally, we were planning from this project to have face-to-face hackathons and being inspired by the QGIS Hackfests and how that goes. And there you basically have a kind of unconference concept where you bring people together from different backgrounds and come up to solutions and contribute to QGIS. So we wanted to have a same kind of atmosphere to create services and apps for the WaPOR database. Well, I'm going to explain you what that is, but we, of course, because of COVID, had to move to an online format, and that is quite challenging to achieve the same kind of atmosphere. So you need to think about what do you want to keep and what do you want to get rid of. And what you want to keep, of course, is that people collaborate and find each other and share knowledge in an interactive way. But you can't do it in a completely unconference kind of way as we are used to in QGIS. So we needed some kind of organization with motivating talks, with pitches from the participants, with things that bind them together, and some more structured way of working to achieve some goals. And we had set up this website, WaPOR Hackathon, from database to application. And the hackathon was from November 17 to 24, 2020. And we invited many different kind of stakeholders to be part of the hackathon. So not only technical people, but also policymakers and students. And we had quite a big crowd joining us. There were 241 participants registered before the start of the hackathon. And initially we had 34 teams joining, which was quite challenging, the teamwork in an online format. And in the end, we had 2 winners. You'll hear more about that, 2 winning teams, amongst which the team of Natalia. So there was some information here about it, and they were asked to cover these themes or other things. So how do you communicate to smallholders, big data for water management, remote sensing for environmental issues, and monitoring the sustainable development goals. But yeah, what is the WaPOR portal? The FAO has set up a data sharing portal for water productivity, an open access portal, so free data available for you in this website. And it comes with a lot of different data sets that you can use for mainly agricultural water management. And you can download this and use it in a GIS, and you can do all kinds of also temporal analysis and derive indicators that you want to use for agriculture. To explain this a bit more, I'm going to show a very short video of a couple of minutes that I'm going to stream now. Then you know a bit more about what the aims of WaPOR are. I'll stop sharing the screen and start the video.
effects of climate change are undeniable. Droughts are increasing, heavy rainfall and unpredictable weather events are now the norm. As a consequence, small-scale farmers often lose their crops and now must work harder than ever to produce enough food in a sustainable manner to survive. The Sustainable Development Goals call for zero hunger and efficiency of water use in all sectors. To help meet the challenge, FAO has developed WaPOR, a remote sensing database which allows for the monitoring of agricultural water productivity. WaPOR gives users access to a wide variety of real-time satellite data on water productivity collected over a span of 10 years. This information can be used to propose solutions to increase water productivity while respecting the environment and making equitable use of water resources. Governments and research institutes are already using WaPOR to design strategies based on factual data. And in the field, mobile apps developed by FAO and third parties use WaPOR data to provide farmers with information on local conditions of water and vegetation. These apps also use artificial intelligence to detect plant pests and diseases. Farmers can make the right decisions. They can decide to increase soil fertility and reduce water use, and ensure that the correct crop is grown in appropriate climatic conditions. This tool helps manage every drop for every crop, both now and in the future. WaPOR is expanding to new areas and new applications. Join us to build a water and food-secure future where no one is left behind.
Jump in and help, otherwise just give me a
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, we lost you for a minute, but I hope you've seen the clip. We're back here. I'm going to share my screen, so now you have a little idea about the WaPOR database and what it does. So you can use that data in GIS, in Qgis, to do your analysis. And what we did for the hackathon was set up a platform in Moodle, where we have had all the teams work together. So I'll give you a quick overview. Here's some information, background information for the participants. And what they had to do the first week was to prepare their idea and to create a pitch. And they were trained on making the pitch and submit the pitch here in the platform. They had their team workspaces. They also used Jitsi there. And we had coaches, the organizing team and coaches to help them on a day-to-day basis with their idea. And we had a Q&A part for experts. We had different experts on water productivity, on remote sensing, sustainable development goals. Here is Saber, who's also part of this session, more on development of apps and services and GIS technology. Marc de Blois from Upande. And we had Nicolas Canafax, more on business development, and some others who already have developed apps with WaPOR for agriculture. And then we had also our jury members and the judging criteria. So everything here in the platform, quite a diverse group of experts. And we were really happy that everybody cooperated in this very new thing to have an online hackathon. Before we go to Natalia's journey and her team, this is, I think, the official announcement that Natalia and her team, they were one of the winners. The winners got €1,000 to further develop their app, and also they can still use our support. But with the book Qgis for Hydrological Applications, there's a fund to support IHE Delft students from the Global South to join Phosphor-G and Qgis events to contribute to the diversity of these events. And Natalia has applied to this fund. to go to the FOSFOR-G 2021 in Buenos Aires. And her application was happily accepted by me. And well, recently we learned that FOSFOR-G chose, for obvious reasons, to become an online event, as you see here. But Natalia has indicated to still be very motivated, and her team to present the work that they're going to present for us briefly here. So I'm going to congratulate first Natalia with her application approval for this fund, and I'm going to give the floor to Natalia to present her journey. You can start sharing your screen. I'll stop mine. We can see your screen, but we can't hear you.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, now you can hear me? Okay. So, hi everyone.
Natalia, can you just press the hide button on the Jitsi bar as well, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I am Natalia Cárdenas. I am one of the members of the WaPlugin team. So I'm really glad for being invited to share my journey during the WaPOR Hackathon. So my presentation will be from WaPOR Hackathon to Qgis plugin. So first of all, the WaPlugin team, we are a young international team from several countries around the world, from Colombia, Tunisia, Zambia, India. Currently, we are 4 people, 2 women and 2 men working on this project. The WaPlugin team was formed during the WaPOR Hackathon, so we didn't know each other before the hackathon, and we met during this event. The team members were professionals and computer science engineers, so we supported each other for successfully creating an application for the WaPOR platform. So the WaPOR Hackathon was divided into 2 phases. During the phase 1, we have to define a challenge and a solution. Also, the WaPOR Hackathon was divided into 3 main themes. We selected the big data for water management, in which we have to create a connection between the WaPOR data to help large-scale policymakers, river basin authorities, large irrigation schemes, big industries, among others. So we identified that the main challenge was that the water data, mainly from agricultural purposes, is incomplete and difficult to access and integrate with the processing software. To overcome this challenge, we propose a solution to provide an easy access for WaPOR data, creating a user-friendly feature to support water management decisions. So based on that, we create, or our idea was to creating a water accounting and productivity plugin based on WaPOR data for QGIS platform that we named the WaPlugin. That means water accounting and productivity plugin. So this tool will bring WaPOR data to QGIS, and also it has the capacity of calculating water accounting and productivity indicators that will help to the decision making in the agricultural sector. So the indicators are going to be calculated by the plugin. So the plugin will bring some data sets from the WaPOR catalog. So as can be seen in the image and in the explanation that Hans made before, WaPOR brings together some water parameters and some data sets like gross biomass, actual evapotranspiration, precipitation. So this will be applied by the plugin to calculate the indicators. So some of the indicators that we are going to calculate is the overall consumed ratio, the depleted fraction, the overall field application ratio, and the crop water productivity to see how the water management in the irrigation scheme. So the concept development. So we wanted that the plugin brings the data from WaPOR portal to QGIS and allow that the data can be used for further processing in this software. Also, the connection that is going to be made by the plugin between WaPOR and QGIS is going to be established with the WaPOR application program interface API service. The plugin will provide an interface for calculating water accounting indicators based on WaPOR datasets. And the indicators will support users by generating maps and reports for further assessment and evaluation. So till this point was the phase 1 of the WaPOR Hackathon. So we present our idea and the juries like it, and we made it for the second phase, in which we work on the application development. So as can you see in the image, this is the workflow of the plugin. So the plugin has two main features, the WaPOR catalog and the indicators calculator. For the WaPOR catalog, the user will select which dataset he wants to bring to QGIS. And also it has to introduce some input data like the localization, date, and resolution, among others. And the plugin will bring that dataset, that specific dataset, to the QGIS canvas. For the second feature, that is the indicators calculator. So first, the user has to select which indicator he wants to compute. Then he has to introduce some input data like the localization, date, resolution, among others. And if it is required by that specific indicator, also the user has to introduce some other input data. Based on that, the plugin will calculate the indicators by itself. And then it will create a map that will bring it into the QGIS canvas. So the plugin will be working like a bridge between WaPOR and QGIS, as I mentioned before, through the API service of WaPOR. The indicators computations will be done entirely by the plugin, and in some cases, it will require extra information from the user, as I mentioned before. And the results will be shown as a map that will be added as a raster layer in the QGIS canvas. So based on this, we made a market research for looking the impact of the plugin in the QGIS community and the water professionals that will be our potential users. So a survey was done in which the majority of the respondents have a medium level using QGIS and have a professional background related with the water sector. Some of the results were that the 80% of the survey respondents see that the WaPlugin could support them in their tasks. Also, users are mostly looking for a user-friendly interface, and users are not willing to pay for the tool license. So taking this into account, we create our business model. So as we saw before in the results of the market research, users are not willing to pay for a license. So we have to see which other funds we can have for this project. So the WaPlugin will raise funds through consultation fees, trainings, investors, cooperating partner funding, and WaPlugin tailor-made products. Also, we identified that the cost of running and developing the plugin will include market research, international campaigns, the research and development of the plugin, and subsequent add-ons. So for being able to find some funds and get to know to the users, of our plugin, the WaPlugin team will run promotional webinars, MEPI hours, virtual launch parties from individual users, plan pitch meetings, and networking with potential funders and investors. For the validation and improvements of the plugin, testers will be recruited from social media to obtain feedback for each version release. So it is really important to us the feedback that the users can give to us to just change or improve or see if our proposal is working properly. So this is a really important part for the validation of our plugin. Also, we create profile or in GitHub, we create a page in which we have our entire script. So this gives access to the open source community to the project, allowing a potential exponential growth. And lastly, improvements and maintenance will be done periodically by the WaPlugin team to ensure the proper functioning of the plugin. Some limitations that we identify is that, as it was mentioned by Hans, the WaPOR and in the video, the WaPOR platform for now it just works for or have data for Africa and Middle East. So, and the plan is to keep growing their coverage to many other countries and continents. So as the WaPOR platform keeps growing, the WaPlugin also will keep growing with their coverage. Yes. So thank you so much for your attention and your invitation. This was a really exciting experience for us. We didn't meet each other before, so we learned a lot of things. We have a lot of backgrounds, and we just make this work, and we create the WaPlugin. So we are still working on this, and we are really happy to share this experience with you. Also, we are starting with our social media, so you can follow us in LinkedIn, in Twitter, and Facebook. So now we are going to show the pitch, the final pitch that we presented during the second phase of the WaPOR Hackathon. So with this video, we were one of the winners of the hackathon. So I'm really happy to share it with you.
Currently, there are a large number of platforms that collect information of several water parameters worldwide. In most of the cases, the data is stored by public and private institutions, which usually make the information difficult to access and difficult to unify. Many platforms for processing the information exist, which make it visible and understandable for people involved in water management. Despite this, the connection between platforms and softwares is not easy to use and is time-consuming. For this reason, a Qgis plugin which will help in addressing
Hang on, the video is not playing. I can just see you.
Even give their
I think it's because Natalia took focus. Maybe you switch off your camera and everybody
and your sound.
The mic, yeah. So focus is not taken. I'll put the video back. And let me just restart the video. That's better.
Currently, there are a large number of platforms that collect information of several water parameters worldwide. In most of the cases, the data is stored by public and private institutions, which usually make the information difficult to access and difficult to unify. Many platforms for processing the information exist, which make it visible and understandable for people involved in water management. Despite this, the connection between platforms and softwares is not easy to use and is time-consuming. For this reason, a Qgis plugin which will help in addressing these challenges is proposed, and even give their user the facility to compute indicators that will support the decision-making by the water professionals. The idea is to develop a water accounting and productivity plugin for Qgis software that will help water management users to provide an interface for calculating water accounting indicators based on WaPOR datasets. These indicators will support users by generating maps and reports for further assessment and evaluation, making the water accounting computation by water professionals simple and easy to use. A survey has been done in order to know how the user will interact with the plugin and how valuable is it for him. We have received more than 60 responses from 18 different countries around the world. People interviewed belong to different professional fields. In order to know if there is a similar plugin that people are using, we have received 88% of responses answering no. People that answered yes to this question mentioned different tools, but actually none of them has the same functionalities as the water accounting and productivity plugin. This confirms how innovative the plugin has a forecasted customer base of potentially 20 governments, over 5 cooperating partners, many more universities, and countless QGIS users and developers. Planning and developing the plugin will be made up of market research, international campaigns, the research and development of the plugin, and subsequent add-ons. Aside from the €1,000 seed fund, the WaPlugin team will raise funds through consultation fees, water plugin tailor-made products, training of partners, clients, investors, and cooperating partner funding. First step will be to publish the plugin on QGIS, where it will be tested and checked for bugs. Testers will be recruited from social media through Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, and LinkedIn. To raise anticipation of EIS users and water professionals, the team will write articles and papers that will be published in popular platforms such as EIS Launch. Water Accounting and Productivity plugin will be officially launched on the 15th of March 2021 with its source code in GitHub repository. The WaPlugin management team will until then run promotional webinars, mappy hours, and virtually launch party for individual users and plan pitch meetings and networking calls with potentially funders and investors. Although the Water Accounting and Productivity plugin has a user-friendly interface, the level of expertise in QGIS is crucial to know how well could the user interact with the plugin. In this survey, the majority of the respondents have a medium level using QGIS, which is enough to effectively operate data. When we have raised the issue of paying for WAP plugin services, 56% of QGIS users are not willing to pay for such a tool. The plugin has two main features. The first one is for downloading the WaPOR data directly from QGIS. This feature will have access to the entire WaPOR catalog as it is shown in its official website. The WAP plugin will guide the user to select the type of data he wants to look after and fill all the required parameters, in which the user will choose the resolution, location, dataset, and time series needed, and will be able to add the map selected directly in the QGIS canvas as a raster layer. Furthermore, the second feature of the plugin is the calculation of water accounting and productivity indicators based on WaPOR data. The indicators computation will be done entirely by the plugin, and in some cases it will require information from the user. The way for proceeding starts with the indicator selection by the user. Moreover, it will choose the time range, the resolution, the location, and the units. If it is required, the plugin will ask the user for some information, specifying the units that the data should have. The results will be shown as a map, which will be added as a raster layer in the QGIS canvas. Most of these indicators reflect the impact that agriculture has on water resources, as being the most significant water user worldwide, and their analysis will help to identify specific issues that can be addressed by policymakers, large-scale irrigation managers, river basin authorities, among others. Some examples of the indicators that are included in the plugin are the overall consume ratio, the depleted fraction, the overall field application ratio, and the crop water productivity that assess and diagnostics the irrigation water management. The scope of the plugin for now is the same one from WaPOR platform, and as WaPOR improves its coverage, the plugin will do so as well. Moreover, as a long or mid-term target, the WAP plugin will also open the access to other data sources as Aquastat and databases from several hydrometeorological institutes, opening the door to future partnerships. For the plugin to continue improving, at the moment there is already a repository on GitHub configured for the participation of several contributors.
Thank you. That was a nice video giving the overview of the plugin. I'm inviting the panel, the team, to open up your cameras so we can see you, to have a little discussion, and we'll first make a little round to introduce yourself. So start with the panel. Lauren, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks Hans, and thanks Natalia for your nice presentation. My name is Lauren Zielinski. I work at IHE Delft. I'm in the water accounting and water productivity group there, and I was one of the coordinators of the hackathon. And I just want to say for the team, they had an extra challenge because none of them knew each other at the beginning of the hackathon. It was one of those teams that got put together. So in addition to building a great product, they also had to learn about each other and about their skills and maybe overcome some time differences in their meetings. So a big congratulations to you guys.
Thanks, Lauren. Saber, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Saber Razmanjui. I'm the work in Lutra Consulting. It was a great pleasure meeting the team. They had really great ideas and a lot of enthusiasm. So it was very good to channel that enthusiasm to something really productive and a nice outcome out of that.
Nice, thanks, Saber. Then the team can introduce themselves. Natalia, we've already seen, but let's start with Margaret.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Margaret Nkosi, and I come from Zambia. I'm one of the members of the WaPlugin team.
Thank you. Then Nabil.
Yes, hi everyone. So thank you, Professor Hans, and all the organizer of this session. So my name is Nabil Korshani from Tunisia, and I'm a PhD researcher in the water management. So I'm part of the WaPlugin project. Thanks.
Thanks, Nabil. Akshay.
Hello everyone, I am Akshay Gunti and I'm from India, and I'm currently in Rome. I'm pursuing my master's in artificial intelligence, and I've been part of this team as an IT development for the Qgis plugin. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. We have another member, but the name is not identified here. Who is our fellow Jitser here? Or is that somebody from the organizing team?
I think Saber is the fellow Jitser, but we also have
sorry, maybe it was
Tim
Saber
here. Tim is
sorry, Saber. I thought there was another member that I forgot.
And
No,
Christopher's here, but he's in the organizing team. Yeah.
I went incognito, sorry.
Okay, well, the aim of this session is that we get to know a bit more about this team, and we will have either questions from the chat in the YouTube. Maybe it's a good idea to start with taking that, because I think the watchers have been quite patiently watching and maybe have some questions.
Hi, this is Christopher. From the YouTube side, we do have one question. The question is, what was your experience creating the API data link, and are you in touch with those using this plugin for research?
We will take the answer from the team. Don't be shy. You got the question? So maybe, I think, Akshay, can you take the answer of this question? It was about the API, and if you're in touch with people using it. And
Yeah, sure. So actually, this was my first project with QGIS, and it was like actually not that hard to understand and use the interface. And we got some help with understanding the link to link between the WaPOR and QGIS. There were certain bridges which are already defined to get to link the server into a Python script, and then connect that to a GUI interface. So we were able to pretty fast, understand the communication links, and then create the plugin from that thing.
Okay, thank you. I'm giving Lauren the floor to ask a question.
Thanks. Yeah, something I'm interested in. I'm a user of QGIS, but I'm new to plugins. So your team is from all over the world. You have different academic and professional backgrounds. What level of QGIS use did you guys come in with, and what skills did you need to learn during the hackathon to build the plugin?
Someone wants to comment on that? Yeah, thank you very much, Laura. So, yeah, so for myself, I had the opportunity to use QGIS during my master thesis for modeling the impact of land use coverage changes on its impact on the river basin. So yeah, I have this expertise before, and during this hackathon, it was also a great opportunity to have more idea and to think more on how to manage the big data and use it as valuable resources in order to support decision makers and big industries, also farmers. That's why we have developed this plugin in order. One of the, for example, the indicators that can calculate the crop yield for the farmers using these based on the WaPOR data.
Thanks, Nabil. We can in between also take questions still from the audience. I don't know, Chris, is there another question?
No, unfortunately not yet. I'll let you know when they are.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I want to know what kind of, for example, adoption you would have of this in, say, at the grassroots level in countries in, for example, Africa that don't have great connection with, say, the internet, etc. How are we going? How do those people connect with your plugin?
Okay, so as Natalia said in her presentation, this plugin needs some sort of expertise in using QGIS. So we are planning that the first step is for this plugin is to get data to the QGIS software. So this can be also done, offline. So this plugin can upload once the whole data, and then you can use it in your QGIS without any internet connections. Yeah, so this can facilitate the work of the local users of QGIS.
Is that also one of the advantages of using the plugin instead of going directly to the portal and download your data? Can somebody elaborate a bit on the difference? Because there's already the portal, which has some nice buttons and you can do some things there. How does your plugin make a difference there? Maybe one of the ladies. Yeah, Natalia, go.
Okay, so currently for accessing to the WaPOR data and then put all that information to QGIS, you have to go to WaPOR, select which data set you want, the location and everything, then download it to your PC and then to your desktop, and then put it all in QGIS. So you have to do all these steps. So with the plugin, you just have to introduce like your input information, the thing that you want, and it will appear like automatically into the QGIS canvas. And also it has the extra feature that is the calculation of the indicators that, for example, WaPOR doesn't have. And also you have to take into account when you download the data from WaPOR that you have to apply some corrections to the maps, because the maps are in the digital numbers, and you have to multiply it for some some numbers to get the right units. So the plugin will just like reduce the time consuming of doing all these steps, and will bring the information in the proper units for just facilitate it to the user. So we were looking for that too, an easy tool that it reduces the time consuming for the user.
Makes sense. Saber, I would like to ask you to ask questions, because you've been involved as an expert and you've seen their journey from the inside. We had several meetings together.
Yeah, one of the things that will be interesting to see now, how it evolves from the technical side of things. Obviously, you have got a clear picture, and from the beginning, even you had a very good vision of where you want to go. But one thing that wasn't clear from the start was the business model, how you would want to make money out of this. Did you come up with a refined business model? Has it changed, evolved? Is it exactly what you have planned, or things have changed since you started?
Thank you, Saber. Yeah, you were supporting us, I mean, since long time, since the hackathon. Thank you so much. So I would say that because we are using an open source, I mean, it's plugin based on the Qgis, which is an open source. So there is no need to, there is no possibility to make money from selling. But as we agreed since that we may raise some fund based on doing some training on how to use this plugin. So one of the aspects that we will work on is to try to advertise for this plugin and try to support people on how to use this plugin, and this could be one of the way to have a sustainable, I mean, project.
Brilliant, thank you.
Also.
Thank you. Another question from Lauren.
Well, just a comment. I mean, we're working on some water productivity projects with partners in the NENA region, the North Africa, Near East and North Africa region, and we've already had people say they want to use the WaPOR data sets, but the downloads take too long and they time out. And something like the tool that you have that makes it very user friendly, makes it easier to download and less time consuming, both for their professional time and on their computers, I think is a very good sign that you guys have hit upon a market that really needs some improvement.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I guess another question I have was just, you guys all have different backgrounds, so how did you split up the division of labor or the expertise? Did you guys kind of split it up, or did you all take charge of different components? I'm interested to know how you worked as a team to develop this.
Yeah, I think we were very lucky to have different people from different country and also different backgrounds. I don't know, is it by luck or you have arranged that? So anyways, so like me and Natalia, we have an expertise in using GIS. Margaret also has the expertise in using GIS, but also has an expertise in the administrative and the business part. So she helped us a lot in the business model. And we have Akshay, who is now, I mean, he's doing his master in the IT development. So he's supporting us a lot in the technical parts. So we are, let us say, complete team.
Wow, that sounds like a nice distribution of skills and knowledge.
And just
Margaret,
from our side, it was all luck. We only had your names, and so we put you together. So I think it was destiny.
Amazing to see how that works.
Thanks.
So, Margaret, can you comment a bit on how do you communicate with each other, and how does it work in more internally in the functioning of the team?
Okay, one of the things that was emphasized right after the competition with our meeting with Nicholas, the business coach, was how we needed to have a closely knit founding team. So one thing that we do is we are on WhatsApp, the instant messaging app. So we text each other a lot, but also we have weekly meetings. And aside from that, we've, like what Nabil said, we've delegated duties. So Natalia is in charge of the research, the scientific part, and at least for the coming months, she's CEO. Akshay is in charge of IT development. Nabil is in charge of marketing and customer satisfaction, and I'm in charge of administration. So we generally, you know how it is with WhatsApp, we are generally always sort of texting each other. On birthdays, we try to say hi. Just before a meeting, we try to have some check-ins of how someone's weekend was or something that they had shared. So generally, that's how it is. But also, I think one thing that also keeps us together is that we've got a common goal. And our common goal is not just to do this as a hobby, but also to do it as a business. So, so generally, we are also very self-motivated. So that really keeps us together and that keeps us going.
Very nice to hear that. I heard that there are some questions from the audience. Chris.
Yeah, so some of the questions are, from Ethiopia, can you use a land cadastre, or can you use it for urban land cadastre work? Other questions are, how much of a programming experience do you need to develop plugins? For starting experience, like what should they be doing?
The line was breaking a bit, but your second question was about how much programming skills do you need to take this up? I think that was the question. So does somebody want to...
Yeah, it was along those lines.
Sorry, Chris? It was along those lines, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Akshay, maybe you can comment as an IT person.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I already have put the comment in the YouTube channel too. So, like as I was saying, it's a little bit experience with working on Python syntaxes, and along with Panda data frame is enough. And the Qt designer has pretty good features which will make the designing the plugin, the windows, and the features to be really quick, because since most of the stuff are made simpler with drag and drop kind of system. So once the main frontier is ready, the backend is not that hard to connect. So I think this would answer that question. And speaking about maintenance and updates, we are looking at optimizing the software so that as and when the data is put into WaPOR database, it gets automatically updated into the system, so that there is no additional manpower required to keep looking at the database and see whether there is update or not. So that would be an excellent feature which would be useful and fast in real time usage of the plugin.
Another question about that more, Akshay. You as an IT person, were you already into QGIS and the Python, the PyQgis cookbook, developer cookbook, and those things? Did you already have that knowledge, or did you build it during this project?
Actually, I am new to QGIS. I have worked on other different kind of GUI building interfaces, but this was my first time. But my previous knowledge with these kind of system, and also I have experience in designing websites, which also helped somehow. And most of my career-based projects are related to Python, so I am pretty thorough with respect to that. So that made the process more easier.
Okay, good to hear that you could get started with PyQgis development in an easy way with your background.
Yeah.
Amy.
This is a more general question. I wanted to know how you found out about the hackathon and how you all got involved as your team.
Can I start? I think what I think I found, I follow Hans on Twitter with his, he's usually doing tutorials on QGIS and water resources, and I also follow IHE Delft. So that's how I clicked the link, and there was nothing for me to do in December, so I thought, why not do it? Yeah, and it was a good experience. It was a good session.
Nice. Natalia, because you are still studying and finalizing your master thesis. How did you get into this?
So I follow all the social media of IHE Delft. I'm a student. And this WaPOR and remote sensing for agriculture is a topic that is for my interest. Actually, my master thesis is more or less related with the remote sensing. So I saw it, and it was like a good opportunity, a good experience. I decided just to participate in this, and then also my mentor wrote to me or encouraged me to do it. It was really time consuming. It was a lot, and at the same time I had to work on my thesis, so it was quite difficult for me. But it was a really good experience, and we bring something really nice from it. So we brought, yeah. So
good.
That was the way.
And good luck with finalizing your thesis. You have to defend in a couple of weeks. I don't want to build up the stress, but
yes.
Nabil, how did you find out about the hackathon?
Yeah, actually, one of the organizations that I'm a member with, so they shared it in our group. So and I was always, interested in the big data, the use of big data in the water management. So I directly applied, and I got accepted. Yeah. And thanks to that.
Okay. And you, Akshay?
I was joined in the final stages when there was when we had to build the prototype, and I was introduced to the team and the concept by Natalia with another of my colleague, and I found it interesting, and that is how I joined to be part of it.
So you were approached by some of the team members to join this team in that stage.
Yeah.
Very nice to hear that too. I have a question for Nabil. Is QGIS in Tunisia? How is that? Is that common to use? Is there a user group? How are QGIS activities in Tunisia?
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Hans. Let me say that in Tunisia and most of the African countries, people are using ArcGIS and QGIS. Okay, the problem with the ArcGIS, it's very well known that you have to pay for the license, and the QGIS is free. So people that are start to use now QGIS. And regarding the community, I'm planning with other youth in my country to create a QGIS user group, and hopefully with this project for the plugin, we can try to advertise, and people they can use it even in my country and the whole African continent. Why not?
You have got already a very active developer, one of our colleagues from Algeria, Belkacem, and he has been joining QGIS development team. So
I think you need to say a bit more about what he's doing.
He's mainly working on QGIS 3D and recently point cloud data. So he's working with us on mainly QGIS features. Yeah.
Did you already find each other, Nabil?
No, I got to hear about him from you, Professor Hans. So, but I've just checked a bit about his profile, and once I go to Tunisia, I will try to contact him, and why not have a meeting together, and also in this project of creating the Qgis user group, why not, to collaborate together.
Okay, thank you. We have to start rounding off. Is there any final thing you want to say, Natalia?
No, thank you for the invitation. It was a really good experience. Just to start publicizing the WaPlugin is something that we are going to work on these days. Is our project is as Margaret said, we also are thinking it like a business. So it is a really good experience to have this and share these things and our plugin, our idea, and our experience, our journey. So thank you so much for the invitation.
Welcome. Lauren, you have something to add?
Yeah, just from the perspective of us who put the hackathon on and working with the FAO on this, the goal is that this information becomes used by people in creative ways. So, one person has one idea what water productivity is, and another person has a different idea. And to bring people from different backgrounds and different sectors and different countries to come together to create a product that can go forward as a business, I think you've really just hit the idea perfectly. So I know we're happy with the hackathon and how you guys have done, and the FAO and our other partners are also very happy. So I would just like to say congratulations again, and also encourage people that are watching here, learn more about the WaPOR database if this is something you think is interesting. A lot of this, almost all of it, is open source for you to use, and you can use in your own creative ways. So we encourage you to do that as well.
Okay, thanks, Lauren, for that. And I would say follow these guys in their journey, because it's not ended yet. And they will join the FOSS4G 2021. Follow them on social media. They have shown that in the beginning. And I'm back to Amy to round off.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, team, for joining us and having this amazing panel discussion. I'm sure we all learned a lot, and I want to get involved. So thank you all for being here. And we're going to round off for this session for today. The next one will be in a couple of minutes. And thank you all for joining us for the Open Day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.